Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Cosmic Currency, where we are talking about the astrological transits going on specifically with this new moon in Sag. So because y'all know I'm old school, this is the chart we're looking at. And the theme for the secret code names that we'll be doing right after this is the destruction of a timeline. And that's kind of what this energy is. You know, we've got this huge T-square-like energy going on with Jupiter opposing Mercury, opposing the sun and moon, and squaring Saturn. So we've got a couple little bonuses in there. We've got Uranus trining Venus. We've got Mars trining on the sun and moon, even though it is gaining distance. But we have a couple other little squares in there too, like Chiron to Venus. There's a nice little square there. And I feel like it's uncomfortable. Okay. Hey, Risa, how you doing? I feel like it's rather uncomfortable. So we're going to get into it. I pulled a couple little cards before I went live for my Divine Conversations deck for each of the major planetary bodies, luminaries that are in play. And we're going to kind of see how they have this conversation, because this transit with Saturn being the Lord of Time, right? The Lord of Karma and Time in the sign of Pisces, if it is not in alignment with your soul, right? Alignment with soul. Soul is Pisces. If it's not in alignment with your soul, there's divine order, right? And karma that comes from Saturn. You have to be in alignment. When we talk about Gemini and Sag, where Jupiter and the Sun, Moon, Mercury are, it has a lot to do with how we communicate and truth. Okay. If you feel the need to lie, omit, fabricate, you or anybody for that matter, right? You could most definitely be witnessing other people be going through this. It's going to come with some kind of karmic backslap, you know, from Saturn. There has to be full-blown honesty. Otherwise, it is going to catch up with you, especially as the sun and moon transit more into direction with Jupiter, and as Saturn continues to move direct as Jupiter retrogrades, right? They're going to kind of close that gap. Hey, Sarah, how you doing? They're going to kind of close that gap. So if you think it's intense now, it's going to build over the next week or two for sure, between this moon and the full moon. Okay. Mars on the sun, right? And the reason why this is important is because the sun is ruled by Leo, which is the sign that Mars is in. So the sun is kind of depositing energy into the Martian energy. Sag is notoriously distracted. Okay. Sag is notoriously distracted. And so when you have Mars slowing down, because it's going to retrograde, it's going to start to retrograde and head back into Cancer. But when you have that distracted kind of energy where the sun, the ego, is distracting, and the moon, the emotions, are distracting, you have to really check in with your soul and figure out what it is that you need to heal and improve. I think if you can accept and see the long-term projection, if you were to stay in distraction or to get focused, right? If you were to kind of check in with yourself and be like, okay, this is all of the things that are coming up and that I'm feeling. These are all of the triggers that I'm experiencing, right, from other people who probably have foot and mouth syndrome hardcore right now, especially with Mercury retrograding in Sag opposing Jupiter. People will inherently say things that they should just fucking keep their mouth shut on. Like, what is the fucking point of saying that? Whether it's truth or non-truth, like, why would you say something like that? You know, what prompted you to think it was a good idea to say that? You know what I mean? Things said during Mercury retrograde in Sag with this opposition, if there is no true meaning or value behind what you are saying, and it's coming out false or fabricated in some way, if it's being fluffed in a weird way, you're probably going to end up having to dial back on it or dial into truth to get out of whatever chaos is ensuing because of it, right? It's almost like telling a joke, a quote unquote joke, and it's not a good joke. It's not a funny joke. Like, no one else thought it was funny but them, you know, or but you kind of thing. And having to apologize for the bad joke because it was in poor taste. You know, maybe it was in poor taste. It's that kind of energy. It could also be major things coming up with travel, right? Sag is about travel. Mercury is about travel. It's Gemini's ruling planet. If you are attempting to go places and be a certain character, right, putting a certain hat on and wearing a certain label, and it's not a label you want to wear, or a hat you want to put on, or a facade you want to carry, but you're forcing yourself, chances are you're going to run into travel delays or something to do with your inability to move in that direction. You probably should have said no from the gate, you know, and if you said yes, Spirit's going to try and stop you because Saturn in Pisces. Saturn is demanding you be fucking honest. You know, when we get into that Gemini and Sag energy, you got to be honest. With the Mars and Leo, it's with yourself. It's with yourself. At the end of the day, you can't be honest with other people if you're not being honest with yourself. Right? If you don't want to be somewhere, or you don't want to do something, you can't lie to yourself and tell yourself it'll be fine. Well, I'll just do it anyway. It's like, well, why? Why are you forcing yourself to do things or say things or be in places or do whatever that you don't really want to do? Mercury is also kind of demanding because it's in trine to Chiron. Okay. It's in trine to Chiron. No one is going to save you from the shit you manifest but you. You have to allow yourself with this new moon to break the chains of guilt and pity, feeling bad, not wanting to hurt other people's feelings, because from Spirit's point of view, like, it's insulting to watch you do that. It's insulting to Spirit to watch you feel bad, to watch you feel sorry for people and do things that you really don't want to do or don't feel aligned to do and doing it anyway. Like, it's just a slap in the face to Spirit. So when Saturn comes in as that kind of divine sledgehammer, it's asking people, like, what are you doing? You don't want to. And no one is going to save you from yourself but yourself. You know, it's requiring perception shifts. It's requiring belief shifts, right? This is Sagittarian energy. Your beliefs and perceptions build your cage. your way of perceiving things, your belief system or belief systems, they are what build your cage. They are what keep you trapped in a certain timeline that you genuinely do not feel comfortable staying on. Who are you and what do you want to do when you take all the hats off, all the facades off, and throw them out? When you look at all the different labels and all of the different facades that other people wear and what those labels and facades require or obligate you to do, and you just look at them for face value, who they are. Do you really like that person? The experience they bring into your world? Well, they're my mom. What am I supposed to say? Well, they're my brother. What am I supposed to say? They're my sister. What am I supposed to say? They've been my best friend for like 20 fucking years. What am I supposed to do? Say no, thanks. Tell them you don't want to. Tell them what you do want. I don't feel like it. Is a perfectly good reason to not do something. I don't feel like it. Well, what do you mean you don't feel like it? I do a lot of things I don't feel like. Well, that's you, and you're fucking stressed out and miserable. It's not me. Thanks. I'm going to go now. You know, like, enjoy your time, peace, space without me in it, because that's what I'm going to do without you in it. Like, you know, kind of claiming what you feel. Like, it's my birthday today. It's my birthday today. And I had said to Tanya last night, I said, you're probably the only person that I would willingly talk to today. Like, it's been great. It's been great getting all the birthday wishes from my closest soul family and things like that. But, you know, I was kind of expressing how unfamiliar and uncomfortable it makes me to be remembered. When I was growing up, I had multiple birthdays where people just didn't show up, or they canceled last minute, no matter how many times I showed up for their birthdays or made it a point to be there and do something special for them. Like, I was always a forgotten, bottom rung priority for other people, especially always being after Thanksgiving. And even now, I feel more comfortable being forgotten or not being prioritized or not being considered than being considered and prioritized and remembered. And I was talking to Tanya about how I'm working on it. You know what I mean? Like, being super grateful, and which I am, and being excited, you know, that it's my birthday. But I've spent so many years not being excited about it, dreading it, you know, like, is it going to be a replay of last year kind of thing, or a replay of this year, that I am genuinely surprised, you know, when people remember me. And I was talking to her about wishing that I could be comfortable in being remembered and thought of, which everybody who remembered me today, like, thank you. There was actually quite a lot of you. And I'm always surprised, right? I'm always surprised, no matter how many years in a row now that people have remembered me. And, because I got used to this narrative that I was forgettable, you know, I got really used to this narrative. But I was expressing that I don't necessarily want to get comfortable with being remembered either, because in the event that a year comes and I'm forgotten, like, I'm going to be so upset, you know, like, here we go all over again. You know what I mean? And I think when people are real with themselves, right? And there's a reason why I'm telling you guys a story. The truth is, I just didn't want a whole bunch of phone calls today. you know, which was great that people texted. It's great that my Facebook timeline blew up with my 22 friends that I have on there. I keep a really small circle. And it was just kind of nice, even being remembered by people who don't have me on Facebook. We had that conversation too, Tanya and I, how Facebook reminds people of your birthday, you know, like, and people can't forget if they're on Facebook, they get notified. But my brother is not on my Facebook, and he remembered my birthday and shot me a text message like, hey. And I was really surprised because I really didn't think he would remember. I really didn't think he would, you know? So it was like pleasant surprises. But I think that being real with yourself and where these feelings come from and what you are or aren't comfortable with, like, people could have called me all day. If they called me all day, I probably wouldn't have answered my phone. I wouldn't have, you know, and it's not because I don't want to be wished happy birthday. I love being remembered and wished happy birthday, but there's a certain amount of triggering that comes up with it all, you know? So yeah, not quite the day after Thanksgiving, but it's always tied to Thanksgiving. My birthday is obviously December 1st, and Thanksgiving's always at the end of November. And so it's like, oh, we're still in November. Boom, slap, December 1st comes around and everybody's putting up Christmas trees, and, you know, they could finally take their ornaments and their Christmas decorations out. A lot of people wait till December 1st to do that. And before you know it, the 1st is over, and so is my birthday. You know, I get a lot of happy belated birthdays, but I think that the most important thing for people with this new moon is to be honest with themselves, because when you are honest with yourself, you allow yourself to dig into the whys, right? Because it's never just about the surface answer. It's always about what's beneath it, right? And what is healing beneath it. So once you're honest with yourself, like, I don't really want to talk to this person. I don't really want to go to their house. I don't really feel like having dinner over there with 20 fucking people that I only see once a fucking year. You know, like, they don't call me, they don't text me, they don't reach out. They're not a part of my life 364 days of the year. 365 on a leap year, but I'm expected to show up to this house and sit and entertain them all while they bicker back and forth amongst themselves or have conversations that I'm completely not interested in for 4 hours, and have to feel guilty about being the first one to leave when I never wanted to even be there to begin with. You know, it's like, when you're real with yourself and you're honest, you can ask yourself, okay, so if this is what the truth is, when I'm honest with myself, why is that my truth? Why is that my truth? Because I had to admit to myself that I'm uncomfortable being remembered, because being remembered is not familiar, right? Well, why? Why am I uncomfortable being remembered? Well, I dealt with a lot of rejection and neglect early in my life, you know? And so, okay, how can I destroy that timeline? How can I get onto a new one, right? That is the theme of this new moon, the destruction of a timeline. How do I break that old wounding and allow myself to transcend with the truth, right? Because Venus, it's all heartfelt stuff. And how we choose to carry ourselves and how we dictate our life and the people that we choose to have in it, and how it perpetuates certain woundings to the self. But when we're honest, right, Chiron and sextile to Jupiter, when we're honest with ourselves about the mirror and who is in it, we can really start to step back and say, okay, this is the long term that I want for myself. Even if I don't know what the new future looks like, I know to stay on this path and perpetuate this repetitive cycle over and over and over again, I really don't want it. I really don't want it. Like, being forgotten may be what is familiar to me, but I don't actually want it. I don't want to be forgotten. I don't want to be someone that the people that claim to love me and care about me turn me into an oversight, right? That's why I keep my circle small. The people who I have in my life, they remember me, you know? And it's a reminder, ever since I did cut my circle down to size, who remembers? Who remembers? You know? I don't know what life would be like without Tanya and Elisa and Sherry and Lorraine and Christina and Nicole, you know, like, or my brother, you know, like, I don't know what life would be like without Sandy, without Kathy. I don't know what life would be like anymore without those people closest to me who do remember me, you know? So much so that if they were to forget me on my birthday, they'd be like, hey, are you okay? Like, I would remember them. Like, you never forget my birthday. Like, are you okay? Do you need me? Like, I'm here, you know? Because those are the people that are here for me. You know, those are the people that are here for me. And I think it's a reality check with everybody to really take inventory of who is in your life and what beauty they bring to your experience. Whether the beauty is one that leaves you grateful or a beauty that leaves you a lesson. You know, maybe you don't need certain people in your inventory because they're taking up space and preventing other people from coming in. You know, I think that there has to be some self-ownership. And I think that comes a lot from Saturn in square to these elements going on. Saturn being in square is like, you can't blame them. You can't blame them. Like, I mean, of course you can. You could say it's their fault. They're like this and they're like that, or they're not like this. And that bothers me because, you know, they forget me. It's like, okay. But if I were to point the finger at everybody and that didn't remember my birthday and say, it's your fault, you're forgetful, you ruined my day because you didn't remember my day. You didn't remember my day. Well, then I'm as valuable as a tree stump to myself. Because I'm the one that insists on keeping this person around in my experience and getting upset every year when they forget. Maybe I just don't need people in my life who forget. Maybe that was the problem. I was valuing people who didn't value me enough to remember me. And then blaming them. They all missed my birthday. They all forgot about me. I chose to keep them in my inventory of people. And having them around kept me from bringing other people in. I can't blame them for being who they are. I can only look at myself and say, hey, Grace, you keep them around and get upset over them though. Like, you can't force other people to change, but you have total control over yourself. So why don't you change, bitch? Why don't you change? You know, and it's that self-accountability. It's the self-accountability. No one else. You can't force a single soul outside of yourself to change, but you can look at yourself and say, you know what? I have the power to change this. I have the power to control me. And who is or isn't in my experience. Every day I wake up, I hate this fucking city. Da 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 da. You know, some people complain about where they live, and it's like, okay, but you literally aren't looking for a better place to live, somewhere that you like. Well, I would need a different job. I would need more money. Okay, so you're not even looking for another job that pays you more money, though, so that you can live in a place that you want to live. Well, even if I made more money, I would have to save and da-da and whatever. And it's like, okay, so if you have to save money, there's only two ways you could do that. Either decrease your spending or increase your earning. Maybe you need more than you think. Maybe you need to be willing to put in overtime. Maybe you need to be willing to let go of certain things that you're doing in your weekly routine that's money gets dropped. Maybe you need to pay off some of your debts. But you can't blame life being shitty on anyone or any place or any circumstance when you are in control to make changes all the time. Not every change can be instantaneous. Not every change can come through and be different tomorrow. But if you are dead set that you want change, all you're needing is the will to make it happen and a little bit of patience then. A little bit of patience then. You know, like I went, and I'm 39 years old today. Right. And I've fancied the idea of stocks and buying stocks for fucking years. When I say years, I mean like well over a decade. Okay. And every time that I go to look into it, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know anything about stocks. I have no business buying stocks. Like, I'm fucking ignorant to all this shit. And I don't. I overrode that this week. I was like, Grace, you're not going to know unless you try. You'll figure it out as you go. You'll probably make some good investments and you'll probably make more than likely some poor ones. And that's fine. Maybe you'll get lucky and you'll just make really good ones in the few that you make. So I said, fuck it. I bought stocks. I did it. You know, like there has to be more than one way to make money than just slaving at an hourly job. Even if I enjoy my job, there has to be other ways. So if I can invest $35 fucking and let it sit there, I've already made $5. It can keep building. I've already made $5, you know, and it's just like, if you want change in your life, then be the agent of change. Whether it works out or not doesn't matter, because it's going to bring me to my next experience. It's going to bring me to more knowledge or wisdom in the long run. You know, how are you going to know how much better life can be if you don't take a shot on not fucking knowing and being afraid to fail? If I were too afraid to fucking fail, right? Who knows? I might be $1,000 richer in 4 years. Well, Grace, if it took you 4 years to get $1,000, like, is it really worth it? Fuck yeah, it's $1,000 that I got off at $35. You know what I mean? Like, fuck yeah. You know, so it's like, you allow yourself to make change, right? Allow yourself to make new choices. I even got my feet wet with some crypto. I even got my feet wet with a little bit of crypto. I've already made $35 of crypto. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, you know, and it's like, even if it's just little bits, it's so much fun to watch it. It's just so much fun to watch it. Like, even if I don't pop in for a few days, it's like, oh, cool. Like, I'm this much higher than I was last time I checked. That's awesome. And allowing yourself to be okay with failing. I could pop in tomorrow and all of my stocks and crypto could be completely crashed. I could fucking owe money for all I care. You know what I mean? But it's just like, I'm okay with failing. I'm not expecting to. I've got my fingers crossed. But it's okay if I do, because I'll learn more. You know, and that might pay off for me in the long run. So let yourself fail. Let yourself say goodbye to old versions of yourself, right? The old version of Grace that would be like, well, I don't know anything about it, so I can never benefit from it. I didn't know jack shit about social media and streaming and going live on YouTube either until I said, fuck it one day. And I said I'd figure it out. And I did. Right? 6 years later, I'm on YouTube. What if I just sat there and was like, I'm too scared to go live. I can never do it. What if I fail? What if I fuck up? What if no one likes me? What if I don't get a single subscriber? I wouldn't be here. With all of my astrological knowledge and all of the experience I have in life to share and all of my intuitive ability, I wouldn't be here for anybody. Because fear? Because fear? Don't be in your own way. Don't be in your own way. Change the timeline. That old timeline is the life I would have lived if I stayed in fear of myself. That's the timeline I would have been on. But that timeline got destroyed the minute I decided not to be afraid. This is your time. This is your time here, now, in your life to decide what you want to do and what you want to be and what kind of character you want to hold. Maybe you yesterday did feel guilty and do things out of guilt. Maybe you did feel bad and pitied people and did things to help them when you didn't really want to. Maybe you did show up to events you didn't want to be at. Maybe you did lie to people and tell everybody that life is great and you're fine when you're having a mental breakdown inside and you're putting on a happy face, and as soon as you get home, you're going to want to cry. Maybe you just be honest with yourself from this moment forward. You know, maybe if you don't want to, you don't want to, and it's not your problem. Other people's problems are not your problem. If it affects you directly, then yeah, it's your problem. But if it's someone trying to pull you in because they have a problem, but their problem doesn't affect you either way, well, then it's not your problem. Unless you make it your problem, in which case it will most definitely be your problem. If you made it your problem, it's going to be your problem. I will remind people too, like, it's okay to love people no matter how many times they missed the lesson. It's okay to love people no matter how many times they missed the lesson. Just make sure you take the time to reflect on it yourself so that you are not failing to learn the lesson. Like for the people that are close to me that did not wish me a happy birthday today, I could still love them even if they missed it. I don't have to get upset or take it personal. I don't know what they're going through today. All I know is I don't feel like talking to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like being on the phone. I would much rather be here. I took a great nap today. I treated myself to some things on Temu and Amazon. It's my birthday, bitch. I remember me. And tell me it's okay. I'm allowed to be excited. God knows I already made a deal with myself. Everything I bought today is going to replace something else that I own. Because I don't like clutter. Old me. I'm severely ADHD. Okay. Some people can't stand chaos. I am the chaos. I am the chaos. But I'm working on being more organized and having less stuff because I genuinely feel better when my space is clean and clear. And so it's like, okay, so if I'm going to bring things in my home, I got to let things go out of my home. Maybe for everything I bring in, I got to let 2 things go. You know, I had bought myself some new clothes and I went and pulled, I don't know, maybe 30 fucking garments out of my closet and put them all in a bag to take to Goodwill. right? The clothing donation bins that they have out. So I was like, I haven't touched it in over a year. I've gone through a whole season without touching it. So why do I still have it around? Why? It's just not my vibe anymore. You know, it's not my thing. So I just got rid of shit. Let the old energy go. Like, who you were, you're not obligated to be that tomorrow. Who you were, you are not obligated to be tomorrow. Grace loved victim mindset back in the day. Grace loved it. I'm such a good person and everybody always hurts me. And just being sad. Like, present day Grace don't give a fuck. Like, doesn't care. Like, thank you for showing me your true colors. Appreciate it. Now I know where you stand in my life. Peace be with you on your journey. It's definitely not aligned with mine. And I'm cool with that. Like, victim mentality perpetuates cycles of wounding. I'm not there. I look in my mirror all the fucking time. All the time. Like, when's the last time you took a look at, I don't know, your Facebook profile and scrolled through it and read the different things that you shared? From the perspective that you are having a divine conversation with yourself, that sharing it is not for anybody else. It's because Spirit is trying to get you to read it. How many of us have posted, you deserve the best people in your life and you deserve a person who stands up for you and blah, 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 blah. When are you going to do that for yourself? When are you going to realize that you deserve to stand up for yourself and love yourself and be there for you and make those choices to choose yourself? I would challenge everybody to go into their Facebook profile, if you've got Facebook, and read the things you have posted for yourself. Self-accept. That is your self-expression. Accept yourself and then decide what actions you need to take in order to change your life so that you don't have to post shit like that as a reminder to you anymore. You'll see how different the things you share become and how much you don't resonate with old things anymore because it's just tired. It's tired. It's a tired mindset. It's tired energy. It's worn out. It had its day. Look at how different your posts were 5 years ago. Right? We're talking about Mercury retrograde. Like, reflect. Re-evaluate. Go over it. Are you posting the same shit now as you were posting back then? Can you accept that you've been stuck in an energy pattern for that long? And that it is within your control and ability and capability to change it? I accept the fact that I deal with ADHD. I get overwhelm paralysis. I do things at the very last minute because I'm driven by a sense of urgency. It doesn't matter what the reward is. It doesn't matter. I'm driven by a sense of urgency. So I'm always waiting till the last minute and working under stress because I'm ADHD. I don't necessarily like it though. I don't like overwhelm paralysis. So I told myself I'm literally going to make moves to get it addressed. Either I'm going to literally sit here and do Reiki on my fucking brain to either correct the problems in there, or I'm going to find myself a nice doctor who can prescribe me some Ritalin and help me that way. And either way, I solve the problem. You know what I mean? Like, God knows, when I was on Ritalin back in high school, it helped me tremendously. Tremendously. It was like a fucking night and day miracle. I just don't have insurance that covers it right now. So Grace is working on that. Like, figure out what it is you're working on, right? Yeah. Your niece is a Sag too. She don't like clutter. Yeah, I don't like clutter. I don't like clutter. I find clutter. I make it. But I don't like it. It doesn't help that my Cancer moon and rising is sentimental. It doesn't want to throw it out. I went, what was it, like a week and a half ago? I was like, that's it. I had one of them firestorms up my ass, and I grabbed my box of trash bags and just started throwing shit out. I threw out about 7 trash bags worth of shit, not counting the 1 bag of clothes that I pulled to donate. Just started throwing shit out. Like, Grace, you had a great idea. You had a creative intention, but you never fucking touched it. Throw it out. Throw it out, right? Well, here's the thing, like, ADHD, I'm not hyper. Like, boys who have ADHD have hyper and they can't sit still, right? They can't focus and they can't sit still. With women who have ADHD, it manifests differently. I get hyper fixated on things that are not a priority. Like, hyper fixated on things, and I cannot not do it. Even if it takes me 8 hours, I can't not finish what I'm doing, even if I have other important things to do, like cooking for myself or doing laundry or cleaning up something or working on something for my job. Like, I will get so hyper fixated on the keychain I decided to make that everything else that should, could, would take priority doesn't fucking exist. Doesn't exist. The hyper ends up being hyperfixation. I cannot concentrate on the things that I need to concentrate on because I'm so hyperfixated on something. And it happens. Like, it happens. I love when it's cleaning day. When I become hyperfixated on cleaning, it's once in a blue fucking moon, but I love those days. I love those days because 99 times out of 100, cleaning is not the fixation. Laundry and organizing my closet is not the fixation, you know? And so understanding, and I've been researching it more and more and more because I want to deeply understand how to utilize it in a way that benefits me more. Like, I had every intention to do these lives earlier in the day so that I could get to bed early and be up for work tomorrow. I got to be up at like 5:45 in the morning. I was like, I'm going to get my shower done. I'm going to, eat, and then I'll get ready to go live. I ended up procrastinating for an hour. Procrastinated for an hour. Then finally ate and took my shower. And then I became so overwhelmed with paralysis of the stuff that I had to do. I was like, I'm exhausted. I mentally exhausted myself with the overwhelm and took a nap. Woke up from the nap. And I was like, okay, I'm going to fix myself a cup of coffee. Like I'm starting my day fresh at 6 o'clock at night. And I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to go live. And I'm here, you know what I mean? But it took me an extra 7 hours to mentally prepare myself to be ready to go live, And it's something that I deal with. It's why I cannot stick to a schedule. It's why I cannot just not do as I'm guided. I have to be able to do it when spirit guides me to do it, and I'm driven to do it in that moment, because if I tell myself I'm on a schedule, I start this overwhelm process inside my head, and it almost feels like dread because it's not my story. Some people can wake up with all the energy in the world and have a million things on their to-do list and start knocking each one out every day. And I envy those people. I envy those people. I wish that's how it was, you know, and it's just like self-acceptance is being okay with who and where you are, being able to be in your truth. Like, I would love to be here and say I go live every morning before I get ready for work, and I go live every day, but I don't know what kind of state I'm going to wake up being in. You know, sometimes I wake up highly motivated. Sometimes I wake up and don't want to do a damn thing. Don't want to do a damn thing. And if I push myself to do something I don't want to do, it drains me 10 times harder by the time I'm done, including going to work at my everyday job. I don't feel like it some days. I want to lay in bed and stay in bed until 1 PM and fuck off all day and do nothing. I just want to do nothing. But I have to go to work. So I will force myself up, I will get dressed, and I will go to work. By the time I am done, it feels like it's been 10 times harder, right? Hey, Lala, how you doing? And then I crash. I crash even harder on my days off, where I can actually do nothing. But on my days off, I want to do other things. I do want to clean. I do want to cook. I do want to go shopping and get some things in for the week. But I'm too fucking tired. Mentally, I've exhausted myself. Because I'm not setting the pace that is right and best for me. That's why I said, fuck it, Grace. Then I guess you're gonna dip your toes in stocks. I guess you're gonna dip your toes in crypto. See where it goes. See where it goes. Because the reality that's been created doesn't fucking work. Oh, thanks, Lala. Thank you. I know your birthday is right around the same time too, isn't it? Lala, your birthday? You have to let me know. I don't know if you've ever told me your birthday. But yeah, you know, be real with who you are and what you want in your life. Be the change in your life. Even if it's one little teeny micro step in the right direction, like it's still in the right direction. Happy early birthday. Happy early birthday, Lala. See, I knew that we were fucking twins. I fucking knew. I knew we were fucking twins. For real. I was born at 6:23 at night. So how much you want to bet? We were born within 24 hours of each other. We're damn fucking close. I knew you were my fucking twin. All right. So I digress. Love who you are, guys. I guess is what it comes down to. Love who you are. Stand up for who you are. Be honest with who you are. Right? And you're an AM baby, of course. Love that. That's official. Lala is my twin. Know that all change is good. It's meant to be challenging and triggering. It is, because old parts of you get shed off in the process, right? Some changes do take time. They don't happen overnight just because the changes are big. Other ones we can change on the drop of a dime. Like, if you don't want to fucking drink anymore, don't. That's a choice you can make immediately. You want to change your financial situation? Sometimes that takes a little more time. Sometimes it takes a little more time. Trust yourself to call shots, and that the shots you're calling are the right ones for you, even if you don't know how the shots you're calling are going to turn out. Trust they are in alignment with whatever it is you're healing. And so long as you are open-eyed and open-hearted to see yourself and self-accept, right? Self-accountability, that you are self-responsible and in self-control, that you can change your life one step at a time. 6:25 a.m. Hey. Hey. Yeah, I think that this new moon is about knowing what the story was and how that story could have ended. And that the story doesn't have to end that way. It doesn't have to continue that way. Just because I was a person who was in victim mindset, you know, the bleeding empath for 35 fucking years does not mean I want to spend the next 35 fucking years that way. You know what I mean? Like, I am 39 years old. 39. I enjoyed the last 2 years of my life more than any other year that I've spent on this earth. The last 2 years have been the most beautiful of my life. And that was when Grace started coming out of victim mindset and owning her shit. I can never and will never go back to the version of myself that I was. I'm grateful for who I was because it taught me what I really want and who I really want to be. So love your past versions, right? Don't be so hypercritical of yourself. Hey, Lorraine, thanks. Yeah, I want to be a baller shot caller. Fuck yeah, I do. Fuck yeah, I do. I want to be that person in my life that I can depend on. Depending on other people has always let me down in some way, shape, or form, especially when they were not in alignment. Especially when they were not in alignment. Hey, Cal. I bank on me now. I bank on me now. I depend on me. I'm proud of me. I hold me up. I hold me up. And in moments where I get too much for my fucking self, my soul family is amazing. My soul family is amazing. And they remind me of my strength when I hit those weak moments because fucking human, dude. We're all here because we are at war with ourselves, searching for peace. That's why every single person is here on this planet. We incarnated because a part of our soul was at war with ourselves, and we were in search of peace. We were not familiar with peace. And so when we left this body and were presented with peace, it was unfamiliar and we resisted it. Like, no, I don't know how to embrace peace. I need war and chaos. That's what I'm familiar with. Let's reincarnate. These are all the excuses I have to reincarnate. And then we reincarnate here and we're like, fuck. Why do I do this to myself? Why am I here? What the fuck was I thinking? And we deal with this shit. Like, I'm not reincarnating next time. I have that choice. I'm not reincarnating next time. I full-blown accept peace. I will enjoy this process of life while I got it. I will enjoy it fully. But once it is done and over, it's like, bye, chaos. See you later. I'm not at war with myself anymore. I accept my peace. I accept my peace. I don't have any debts to be paid to other souls. And if they think I do, that's a them problem. Like, I'm at peace with myself. You want to reincarnate into fucking chaos, be my guest. I'll cheer you on from up there. I'll be your guardian angel if you want to come back here. But I ain't coming back here. You can't make me. You can't obligate me with guilt and pity to come back here for you when I don't fucking want to. It's like going to Thanksgiving dinner and I don't fucking want to. Like, you want me to come to Thanksgiving dinner for what? For what? No. You're not going to guilt trip me, but we've spent lifetimes together. You always come back for me. Yeah, bitch, not this time. You're on your fucking own. Figure your shit out. Figure your shit out. I'll hold space for you. I ain't fucking coming back here. Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. You know, I can experience beauty and bliss in my own right wherever the fuck I am. I do not have to live here to do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? It's funny. I was talking to my son the other day. Like I'm 39, right? 39 today. And I was like, it's crazy because my body feels my age. I mean, I would expect or anticipate that maybe all 39-year-olds kind of feel some degree of fuck this with their body. But in my mind, I'm still hella young, you know, like I still feel and process through things like I did in my early 20s. You know, I still think a certain way and perceive a certain way. Like the empath in me has evolved, but caring is still very much a part of who I am. You know, honesty is still very much a part of who I am. I will still absolutely dance when I hear fucking Cisco Thong Song come on. Because that was my fucking generation. You know? And my heart is still big. Like, I haven't let the world or experience make me bitter. You know? Like, am I single? Fuck yeah, I am. Am I dating? Absolutely fucking not. But if the right person came along, would my heart be absolutely open? Of course it would. Life has not made me bitter, you know? Like, I am all for women and their empowerment, especially with the life that I've lived. Like, I fully support women in their process and their empowerment and their ability to take control of their lives. But I am not so turned off by experience that every single man in the world is bad. I've just opened myself up to the idea that maybe my partner's a woman. You know, maybe it's not a guy. Guys have been shit my whole life. Maybe that spirit's way of telling me, like, hey, Grace, you really got to knock this off with the guys. Like, they never turn out. They never turn out. Like, they might start off strong, but, you know, they don't got that finishing game. So maybe I'm meant to be with a fucking woman. I don't fucking know. I'm open, you know, like my heart is open. My heart is not closed to whomever or whenever that happens. You know what I mean? I fucking love karaoke, yo. I love karaoke. I will be in the nursing home doing karaoke. The last time I went and did karaoke, I sang Coolio's Gangster's Paradise and got a standing O. I shit you not. I nailed it. It was so much fun. I was like 6 shots of whiskey in. I was up there fucking rapping. I do have some good memories. I really fucking do. I really do. But I look forward to making beautiful memories in my life. And I hope you can all sit here and say, you know what, I'm willing to make beautiful memories in my life too. You know, of course, there's going to be some challenges along the way, but there doesn't have to be this temptation to regret choices that you've made. Whenever you feel tempted to regret or temptations to be bitter, like focus on what you learned. What strength did you possess that you didn't know you had? I learned that no matter how deep my love runs, no matter how deep it runs, and it's deep, I'm a Cancer moon and rising, it trines my Venus in Scorpio. My rising 6 degrees Cancer trines my Pluto in Scorpio, exact 6 degrees Scorpio. Like, who I am is deep. It's deep. I can't not go deep. I can't not love with my whole soul. I can't not give myself 1,000%. I just learned to value that differently. If I love that deep and I'm that big inside my heart, then I really have to pick and choose who I give it to. Not everybody understands it or values it the same way. I need someone who appreciates and holds immense gratitude for the fact that I am that deep. and that I'm brutally honest and I don't sugarcoat things. A lot of people don't like it when you have an opinion or you speak truth to them. They would rather be lied to and be in their Delulu world. I can't do that. I can't be with a partner who doesn't appreciate the fact that I have a mind and I see things and I perceive things and I'm being honest. Can't fucking do it, you know? So love yourself, value yourself, understand your weaknesses are not truly weaknesses. They are just strengths you haven't tapped into yet. Perception. My empathy is not weak. It is a strength that I didn't understand how to tap into yet. My ADHD is not a weakness. It's just a strength that I haven't honed in on yet. I'm working on it. Actively working on it. You know? Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid. One of our subscribers here, that's actually their name. Oh, it is you, and you're here. Yes, hi. How you doing? How you doing? It's great to see you. Yeah. Oh, I know I'm intense. I'm fire and water. I'm all fire and water. And I think that whatever you are is a beautiful gift. And whatever you feel you aren't, feeling like you aren't is also a beautiful gift, especially when you realize that you kind of are. You know, you kind of are. I mean, what was the point of being 22 years old with all this fucking intuition and all of this deep sentiment and all of this soul attraction if it wasn't teaching me how to value myself? I didn't know how to use it. I used to talk myself out of things. I used to feel bad about things and do things out of obligation. And it just taught me every time I do that, I don't listen to my goddamn intuition. It hurts, you know? So Sarah just realized that you were talking to Don't Drink the Kool-Aid, talking about how he joined the cult. That's great. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Really. I'm going to wrap this up, guys, because I do want to get into the secret code name readings. We've got 6 this time around, not 7 or not 4, but 6. And I don't know why Spirit keeps guiding me to a 7th one, to be completely fair. Maybe I'll end up doing 7. Maybe because it's Lala's birthday tomorrow. We'll call it Sweets with a Z. Sweets. All right. ADD. 7 is your favorite number. There you go, Lala. You're going to get a secret code name today. You're going to get a secret code name today. Happy early birthday. All right. So we're going to leave this here. Thank you guys, all of you, for being present. I appreciate you. I'm eternally grateful. And I'll see y'all in just a bit.